Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Monday, all the week before, I was, in an exacerbation with my autoimmune conditions. And I was in a pretty bad way because moving around was not fun. So part of my autoimmune, it affects all the muscles and joints in my body. So it was really difficult, especially with the cold weather, et cetera. But on Monday, I went to a doctor's appointment because I've been putting it off. I found a lump on my ribs. And so I finally went to go and get that taken care of. So he was saying that, okay, that's fine. It was just a cyst. But he said that I had scoliosis, which was pushing that nodule forward, which was making it pronounced. And it was giving me more, I was in more pain. And so I was like, oh, good grief. So I could not wait. When we got home, those patches could not have come at a better time. It was Monday I went to the doctor. I'd been in agony all the week before and put the patch on, and it was crazy because immediately I had, immediately I felt in my gut a sensation, kind of like the adrenaline rush that you get, like when you've been scared and you're like, oh my gosh, and you feel in the pit of your gut. It was kind of like that kind of sensation. And then it rose up, into the epigastric region. And I was like, huh. Then it got up and it was right in here. And then it went into my chest. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. Because when you sit over here and you think about our gut and the fact that 80% of our immune system is controlled there, I found that real interesting that it hit there first. And I was like, is it doing something to my immune system? So that was the thing that I thought first. But then as it was going off into my chest, I found that interesting because I was like, okay, is it traveling to the areas where I need, kind of like when we talk about our Supermix blend. And so right away, I didn't feel like, okay, all pain be gone. It wasn't like that kind of experience for me, but I was feeling the sensations. But after a while, maybe a few hours, I was noticing that my shoulder was really loose. I haven't been able to sleep on this shoulder for over a year and a half. I thought this baby was frozen or that I had, a torn rotator cuff. I had been seeing chiropractor, zilch. I saw a physical therapist. He helped me get my range of motion back. The pain kind of reduced, but I was still stuck with it, and I couldn't sleep on this left arm. But it's been almost 2 years now. But the thing is I couldn't sleep on this left side, but I was sleeping on this left side. I was like, okay, I'm all in when I could stay on this left side, and the pain in the shoulder is gone. My spine is a little bit more challenging, but it went down from maybe a 9 down to a 3. So I'm like, you see how I'm sitting now, because it's like last week when we were talking, I could not find comfort. I was in so much distress. I was like, okay, life was miserable again. And I was like, okay, what the heck?
Well, let me share what I witnessed last week. So this was exactly a week ago, last week, same time, right? So
yeah.
I seen you sweating a lot. You were like just patting your face, sweating. You were moving a lot. I told Al, what I say, Al? I said she was in a bad spot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And I literally have prayed for you all week because I tried to find you some extra recover.
Right. Bless your heart.
Me and you were like, just don't worry about it. I got my patches. Yeah. I'm all good. Right. But, so I want to just witness what I seen last week.
Yes.
And yeah, you were moving a lot. You were in a lot of pain. You told me you were in a lot of pain. You were very frustrated.
Yeah.
And you were sweating a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're very emotional.
Yeah. And I was hurting. I was totally hurting. And I know you had said something about I was everywhere, and I was just, it was not a good place. And I hate when I go down like that, but it's I'm happy that the patches came when it did, so I could really put it to the test. And, you see now, let me tell you what happened. Because the day after, because we took the patches at 12:25. And that next day, I found that I had more flexibility, more movement. I could feel the looseness in my hips, in my shoulders. You know, I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. But I hadn't been able to exercise. And I just did some yoga stretching. And I tell you, I was stretching more. I was reaching more. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. You know, because we know when you lay down, when you're sitting down with your legs straight out and you go to reach down like that, it was like I could take it all the way down. I could cross my legs and go all the way down to the floor. I had, you know, normally it takes me several days to work myself back to that. I hadn't done any yoga stretching for maybe about a month, but I had all of that flexibility, you know, so I was like, yeah, I'm all in for the patches. So, you know, I can't imagine after being on it for, say, 30, 60, 90 days, you know, I'm like, that's just going to be incredible. I'm like, we got to get this stuff out to everybody. So
now the patch is 24 hours, but you've actually worn yours longer.
I have worn mine longer because, you know, okay, here's the deal. We only had samples. So I'm going to wring my patches out.
Right. Well, you're still feeling good off of it.
I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling good. And I think this is what, 2 days?
2 days.
This is 2 days out.
More than 48 hours.
So, you know, I couldn't imagine if I had changed it, you know, a day out and just been re-hit, you know. I mean, I think it would have been wonderful. So, but yeah, I'm like, this is incredible. I think everybody needs to have that.
March 1st can't
dealing with, no, it can't get here fast enough, but even dealing with situations, you know, it helps with the calm and all of that. And I can't wait to see what else is ahead, you know, with these patches. So yeah, I'm ready.
Where's the recommended spot that you place these?
Well, you can put it on any place that's kind of thin, and I recommend my experience with transdermal patches is to make sure that the area is clean. You know, so you want to wipe it with soap and water, make sure it's thoroughly dry, and put it on any areas that's really thin. So the inner part of your forearm, your upper arm, you know, I put it on my back, which is over here, you know, well, the back of my shoulder. And that is where one of my issues are. But, you know, this is going to go into the bloodstream. It's going to go in everywhere. But since I had a challenge there, that was the first place I was putting it. Now, what I'm going to do and what I recommend is that you rotate it around, you know. So you might start here, and then you might want to go here. The back of the neck is a good area. So just make sure that it's clean and dry, and just hold it there and let that adhesive, you know, just stick, because you don't want it falling off and breaking the cycle, because it's releasing, you know, short amounts, you know, throughout the day, time release. So I want to make sure that it stays in place as long as possible, and I don't want the seal broken. So that's what I would recommend. But, you know, some people said that they're putting it on thighs and, you know, things like that. Rotate that bad boy around, you know, so, and just get it activating through the system. But it's going to go down into the bloodstream and circulate anyway.
Okay. Okay. Al, anything you want to share while you're sitting there about the patch? Cheryl, don't leave us.
Okay.
We got to get another chair so Cheryl can. Chair. All right. Can you get through?
Yeah.
All right. So my experience with the patch is, now I've had some issues with, now Cheryl told me to write all this stuff down, and I totally said, yes, dear, and I didn't. But one thing I noticed, you know, I like to laugh and have a good time and everything. And here lately, I don't know what's going on, but here lately, when I have a good laugh, I'm just coughing, you know. So something in my what area is that? Sure, somewhere in my lungs, respiratory area, something. I was having something going on. I mean, I would even talk and my words would abruptly end. So something was going on with the respiratory system, and I didn't like it. I was nervous about that. When I put the patch on here first on my wrist, because it didn't matter. Cheryl was going to put it on her shoulder. I'm like, let me put it on my wrist, even though I had a lot of tension in my neck, and I got issues all over my body. But anyway, the first thing that I noticed is something really had me laughing. And I was just laughing. And afterwards, I noticed I did not cough. And I didn't even feel like coughing. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I was noticing that I could talk a lot longer sentences without my breath being cut off.
And laugh.
And laugh and all kinds. So I don't know what it's doing inside my respiratory system. Doc didn't tell me you got issues, but I know I have issues. And those issues, that's the first thing I noticed. Like, they were dissipated. They were gone. I'm back to normal. I'm like, wow, okay, that was a big deal. But a lot of body aches and so forth whenever I started getting up here lately. And I don't know what's going on here in our area.
We got cedars.
Yeah, we got all kinds of allergy stuff. But I can't attribute allergy stuff to my body aches and so forth. Because my body was aching. I felt like, oh, my goodness, I feel like I'm getting old. Well, when I had that patch on, the same experience with Cheryl. I felt loose. I felt like I had been doing yoga, and I'm not a guy who stretch. 55 years and hadn't been stretching, but I felt limber and loose, and getting up and down, moving around was no problem whatsoever. When I was noticing that I was grunting again, like, oh, okay.
You were popping up from a sitting position.
I was jumping up again, So this patch, and there are other things that it's really done. I have, I believe, I have some digestive issues, and I don't want to get gross or anything, so I'm not trying to, but I'll tell you that everything is working better. So even the tension that I had in my neck, that is gone. It's like I've had a constant massage and everything. So this patch is, or I should say the square. Wear the square. It's amazing. So Cheryl, she's had her patch on for a long time. I took mine off this morning, so I was less than the 2 days, and I haven't put another patch on. And now I'm not recommending this. I'm just saying my experience is I still feel good. I still feel good. So, and again, the only reason I don't have another patch on is because we only have samples. Understand what I'm saying? If I had my choice, I'd be wearing the sucker right now. But I'm going to see how long it goes before my body finally say, hey, oh boy, you're feeling it again. But no, this is amazing. And here's the thing. It works so, what's the word that I'm looking for? I always use the wrong word. It works so subtly that you don't even notice it's happening. Yeah. So you'll have this thing on. It'll be 2 hours. It's like, well, what do you feel? I'm not sure I feel anything. I don't know. But then you'll start seeing things that is different. Man, I slept like a baby. I slept the whole night through. I wake up all the time during the night. I slept like a champ.
And what I will add as far as Al is Al wears a CPAP. And, what he did, he took a nap. He said, okay, I'm going to take a nap. And he did not put the CPAP on. And typically when he doesn't do that, I'm ready to throw shoes. And it's like
she's being kind, saying, hey, look, I'll snore the house down.
But he didn't put the CPAP on. And, I could hear him, but he did not do that, shake, rattle, and roll with the house, So I noticed that about you. So. And
now that Cheryl mentioned it, because again, it works so subtly. When I put that patch on, it was like, whew, okay, I need to go to sleep because my body needed rest. I had not been resting. So when I took that nap and went to sleep, man, I dreamed and everything. And I woke up refreshed, like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. So, man, love this square.
And see, typically, my hips are bothered and getting in and out the car, in and out the bed. Those were like critical. Stairs were like Mount Everest for me when I'm in an exacerbation. It's like, okay, let's conquer this, But I was zipping up the stairs. Yeah. I was in and out the bed. Yeah. Those were problems for me. And typically, like, everything is in pain and agony. And my hands, the bottom of my feet, the hips, there's nothing that's untouched. And even like I have pressure points, within the, on my joints. and normally knees and elbows, all of those. If Al did the little pat on the bottom, you know, it's like,
hey, don't be giving away my secrets now.
But, you know, if he did that, it's like, oh, you know, it's like agony. But it's like, nope, I'm good. You know, so. But, you know, it's like, it's just amazing. What I would recommend for anyone before starting the patches, write down all of those challenging areas that you can remember. Just write it down, because it's very easy to forget that you had certain things that were going on. And when you don't feel it anymore, it's hard to recollect. So I would say write down everything that you can imagine before you put the patch on, and then have pen and paper ready for when you stick it on. You may not experience anything when you put it on. I'm not saying that you're going to, oh, you got to feel something, you know?
Right. No, it's not.
I just happened to.
She did. I didn't.
And I think because you know, my insides were so messed up, you know, and I was in a situation where my immune system was acting up. I feel like that's what I had felt. But you may not feel anything when you put it on. You know, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's not working, because you can't see what you can't see. But just put it on and then just reevaluate yourself, you know, and go back to your list to see, hey, you know, does my toes hurt? You know, is my teeth itching? You know, it might take you a while. You might need another patch before you feel something.
I'm going to tell you that we have what is it called, an endocannabinoid system.
Yes.
And everything's
biggest
connected.
Network of cells.
Everything's connected, and this square, it just make everything work together. Oh my
Connects
goodness.
that brain and the body, and just let them communicate. And
55-year-old dude, I'm telling you, I really truly feel like a 19-year-old. Sometimes I was running up and down the stairs like, okay, wait a minute, is this me? Wow. So, and that's one day.
Yeah.
Of the patch.
Can you imagine?
Well, I'm sorry, of the square. We got to call it a square. It's a square, man. I love the square.
The square.
Yeah. Get squared up.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Square. Wear the square. Thank you so much, y'all.
Investment.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kiwi.